So, we are in, or at the Great Work, and we have Yashtua and the Nidana here. Let's talk to the ladies. All the sallow, sleep-deprived faces, but their eyes still burning with fiery zeal. Some things never change. As if you were any different, my dear. But, anyway. Yashua tells me you are pursuing a most fascinating study, and that you want me to be part of it. I have no doubt you will be interested. This research log should speak for itself. Will it now? By the sisters, this is a mark of House Demir. I never even knew such a work existed. Few should. It was sequestered in Numenon's restricted archives, after all. It was? But that means every word within it is forbidden knowledge. A forbidden tome filled with forbidden research, and you put it right into my unsuspecting hand? I can hardly wait to read it. To think that Demir were developing such marvelous techniques so long ago. How many innovations have been lost over the centuries, I wonder. Now that you've glanced over the notes, what say you to helping us build a new mock Atomos? I say yes! 1,000 times yes! Work on the Demir project had even the redoubtable scholars of Sharlayan trembling in their sandals. No alchemist of the Great Work could resist. You're a woman after my own heart. Yeah, that she is. Oh, I suppose I should ask, what do you mean to do with this big mouth simulacrum once we've built it? Just an afterthought here, but I think I should ask. So there's a secret void gate, and it's sealed in the ruins at the bottom of the bounty? Today is a day of revelations indeed. Where the purpose of our man-made Atomos is to expand the hidden portal, and I will need to see it for myself, I think. Manipulating rifts spanning apertures is not the sort of thing you want to attempt without first taking into account every single factor. And by all means, accompany us to the vault. I plan to lead us back there shortly, once we've finished gathering the components I require. Sharlayan's markets provided the raw aquamarine and pure water crystals. I might need help obtaining a small quantity of astrally infused water. For such a liquid, you need to go no further than the font of Maya. The ascetics of old once favored the place for their meditations, and the water which pools there now is known to enliven the flow of ether. Sounds perfect. If you would be so kind as to fill a flask of the pool, I will petition Vitra to join us. The idea I have in mind won't amount to much without his authority to command the Void Gate. Shall we be about it then? We meet back here anon. There's no greater joy than having a new puzzle to ponder. Let it be true. A astrally dense pocket. Well, to me it looks like a stair of some kind, but sure. Awesome. And I guess we just go straight back. Yes. Could teleport, I guess, but fine. Oh, and we have Varshan and Destinian here already. That's interesting. Hello, sirs. The boy Murad was glad to hear the news of the Foundation. It means a new life for him and his sister. Cool. Arcadia Stola requested that I join you, but of a plan, she offered scant detail. Oh, I forgot to mention, the Font of Maya attracts aggressive wildlife, and you should watch out for them when... Oh, you go there next time. My apologies. It's fine. We weren't in any danger anyway. We've been there already. Do you have the flask for me? I do indeed. Flask with filled with astrally infused water scooped from a strangely specific point in the depths of the Font of Maya. Yes, this should suffice. Thank you, Laverne. None of this is any good. Okay, well, I take it there are no new dialogues here. Void Theory! Look who I came across. Estinian seemed in need of diversion, and we, in turn, in need of his lands. Right then, now that our little party is assembled, let us make our way to the ruins. Will we have need of Matsia's boat again? Not this time. Once Stola informed me of our destination, I arranged for a vessel to be made ready at Akyali. Your Excellency is ever the gracious host. Shall we? Well, all of you are going in that direction. I'm gonna go in this one. Doesn't matter much as long as I go south here now. I was about to say, I don't see an extra ship. Here it is. Estinian. It's like not needed with Varshan along, but I held onto the map against the chance we might return to the ruins. Ah, good thinking. Onto the boat, if you please, so we can chat on the way there. Yes, ma'am, in a moment. You need not keep your weapons close at hand. The Guardians will not attack if I am present. So I pray you leave them be. Yes. In all this time I thought the tales of Ajadar's horde were no more than a drunken sailor's fancies. No, they do be real. The ship is yours to command. All other things, we set sail at once. Oh, this is so exciting. Ajadar's legacy, to see the truth of a legend with mine own eyes. All aboard for the treasure vault. Yes. Let's proceed. Let's proceed indeed. And it was quick and fast. Nice. I thought we cleared this place of constructs the last time we came through. It seemed a few stragglers remained. No, they were just replaced, I guess. You laid waste to them, ere I could utter a single word. Ah, Estinian. You did not listen. Poor Vitra, he really should have spoken with Estinian before we left. I shudder to think what what we've cost them in terms of construct materials. Utterly disappointed in you. Utterly disappointed. Not disappointed in selling materia, but utterly disappointed in you, Estinian. Anyway, to continue on here.
The ruins alone were impressive enough, but I never dreamed such a treasure lay hidden in the depths of the bounty. It may have been helpful to know this device existed, Your Excellency.
My apologies. The gate was a secret I shared with none but my closest advisors. I feared for what might happen should those with ill intentions learn of its existence.
Good intentions, but you know. That's fine. It was sealed, so that's the important part.
What is it you're doing now?
I've seen this
There's something I wish to verify.
I've seen this cutscene already. I can't
The
wait.
NOAA reports claim that a short stint into the void carries little risk of etheric imbalance.
NOAA being the research well, not research, well, like basically the party that works together with the Sons of Saint Connacht in Mordona, and we're responsible for figuring out all of the World of Darkness stuff that we did in the Crystal Tower raid series. So that's who NOAA is. So she's basically just spoke with the people who were responsible for figuring out what the fuck is happening while you are jumping over into the World of Darkness in the 3rd tier of the Crystal Tower raid. Just to recap that really quickly.
Should one suffer an injury, however, or if one's expedition drags on longer than intended, that risk becomes significantly greater. Graha theorized that a warding scale would confer protection from the void's corrupting influence, but I would prefer to test that hypothesis before we set foot in the 13th ourselves.
So, this is an experiment of sorts.
Yes, an experiment. Tell me, how would you go about testing the efficacy of the warding scale?
Just throw Estinian in there, it's fine. No, I'm joking, of course. Say nothing and look meaningfully at Estinian. I didn't know that, by the way. Might as well go myself. That's not going to help because we're warded off against that anyway. We would have myself and Estinian go and check out how he's doing. But, you know, I already know what she's doing, and B, this makes the most sense. So let's be a little bit logical over here. Maybe send a familiar?
Very good. I see you've been paying attention. As Vritra sent his simulacrum, so too shall we rely on a familiar to bear the brunt of any unpleasant consequences. Now, a lowly imp can navigate a fissure, no matter how narrow. Which means an arcane entity of similar stature should be able to manage the same.
I like where this is going.
I hadn't wanted it to come to this, but no other familiars will do, I'm afraid.
I mislike the sound of that. What manner of fiend does she mean to summon?
From ocean rise and cloudbank form, from mountain spring and rainfall storm, from river flow and life be born. Water, water, froth and foam!
Ready your arms. I fear she's been possessed.
Not quite, no.
Oh,
Thankfully.
come now. That was adorable.
She's just embarrassed. How embarrassed she is. Aww.
Though not my first choice. These familiars I conceived of as a child have the best chance of fitting through the gate.
So, just as a reminder, and also because looking at her like this, it's just adorable. If you remember the second boss of Montoya's Relic, you fired this one in a larger form. And if you run the dungeon with Truss, especially with Y'shtola over here, she will point out that that familiar in Montoya's Relic is hers, that she summoned as a child. By accident, basically. I think the accident was how large it was and that she couldn't control it afterwards, but nevertheless, that was hers. Summoned from... summoned as when she was a child, which is the reason why the summoning ritual was, you know, that. But yeah, these are smaller editions of the same same familiar.
I only wish my younger self had considered a more dignified ending to the creation ritual.
Adorable.
In any case, these two should serve as well. This one will bear a warding scale. And when they return from the 13th, we can observe how the talisman, or absence thereof, has affected the progress of the Void's corruption. If I could impose upon you to open the gate. Your Excellency?
He's just stun-locked.
Yes, of course.
Like, what the fuck just happened?
We should also be wary of void sense slipping through while we conduct our experiment. Estinian, you are to keep Nadana safe from harm.
Are we allowed to speak of this? Will she
As you say.
kill us once this
You
is
had
done?
best be on your guard as well.
Oh my god. I have to. I just have to.
Oh, are you volunteering to join the Nixies? I could shrink you down, you know. Let us begin, shall we?
Oh my god, I love this cutscene so much. That was amazing.
Nixies, into the void.
Bye. You should probably close it for the time being and then reopen it and not just leave it open for like an extended period of time. Alright, let's talk to everyone. Sister, save me. I will never see Y'shtola the same way again. Froth and foam, indeed. Oh my god. Oh no. I started to picture Y'shtola as a little girl. Easy to believe she sprang fully formed from one of Master Matoya's cauldrons. Indeed. Every time I come here, it reminds me of the dark portal above the Crystal Tower and the final lash of Asdaja's, tail as she plunged into the void. We need to wait for a time to ensure a meaningful result. Be patient and keep watch for any intruders. Yes, ma'am.
I think we've waited long enough. Nixies, return to my side.
That doesn't look good. Also, maybe close the void gate right now.
Thank you, little one. You did well.
Aww.
The poor thing. Its essence has been irrevocably warped.
It has indeed. Heads up.
We're out of time. I must reseal the void gate.
Let's talk more action.
They're coming through!
Nah, it's fine.
In the name of Alzadal III, I bar this door unto the void.
Well, that was a sharp lesson in the dangers of void gates.
It was indeed. I mean, they were only imps, so whatever. Alright, come on.
And what of our experiment? I'd say the results speak for themselves.
The unprotected Nixie has suffered extensive etheric corruption. As Nidana observed, it's well on its way to becoming a void scent. The one merged with the talisman, however, appears unaffected. I sense no changes to its equilibrium. Rest now, little ones.
Graha's theory was correct then.
It was indeed.
So it would seem. But while our second familiar was untouched by void energies, the talisman itself shows signs of degradation.
Oh?
It was, of course, originally designed to shield the soul from primal tempering. It stands to reason that etheric corruption of a different sort would affect it differently.
Fair.
We may need to modify the warding scale's design to account for the 13th's uniquely unstable ether.
You've said much of the Void's instability. but my imagination fails me. What manner of place is this broken world?
Ah, my apologies. I forget that not all of us spend our days sequestered in dusty archives.
Or literally went into the void. On
The
multiple
13th
occasions.
is a reflection of the source that was drowned in a flood of darkness. In Emmett Selk's own words, this tragedy was a result of the Ascians' attempts to force a rejoining. They erred in their haste, and made of that world a useless void. You remember Una Kalhai, the unusual child we met during our troubles with the Warring Triad. He explained the fate of the 13th thus. The champions of that ill-fated world used the stone known as Auracite to contain the power of primals. But those self-same heroes were gradually corrupted by the Auracite's bleeding energies, transforming into fiends with an endless hunger for ether. By the time anyone thought to oppose them, Light's strength had grown too feeble, and the balance of the 13th tipped into eternal darkness. It was Elidibus, as I recall, who rescued Unakalhai's spirit from his final battlefield. But I wonder if there were others whom the emissary saved from oblivion.
Yeah, we actually know it, because we've done the level 70 role quests and the void quests afterwards. Arpit's companion, the Elven Swordsman.
Silver? The adventurer who traveled with the Warriors of Light? And you say she was another of Elidibus's pawns?
She was indeed. She was tasked to basically hasten the first
I see.
issue.
So Ciela, or rather Silver, was beguiled by the same dreams of heroism as Unakalhai. And what of your own experience? Will you tell us of what you observed during Noah's expedition?
I like that there's unique dialogue here if you have done the void quests.
I can picture it now. The sunless, Stygian expanse, infested with legions of ether-starved monstrosities. A void in every sense of the word.
Technically not ether starved, just very volatile.
What you have described in such lurid detail is exactly why I hesitate to encourage you.
Good luck.
Worry not, great Vritra. Our journey into the 13th is but the first leg of a longer voyage. A voyage that shall lead us to other reflections, to new mysteries and discoveries. And I mean to be there every step of the way.
Of course you are.
But first I must focus on refining the warding talisman.
Then I can begin work on constructing an artificial Atomos.
Yes, please.
Or I could if I had the relevant manuals to hand. Might I be so bold as to request access to the Satrap's family archives? Your Excellency?
Oh, yes. That can be arranged. I will speak to my officials upon our return.
We will see you back in the city then.
Yes, yes. Poor Vitra. What theory? Seeing the voice terror firsthand was an experience, but I don't fear as such of such creatures is at the root of Vitra's hesitation. Yeah, he probably wonders what became of his sister. That would be one of the issues. Once the Dino succeeds in replicating the mock Atomos, this door into the 13th will be ours to open. Will you be crossing the threshold alongside us? I realize this is more my endeavor than yours. To be honest, I have no interest in visiting the void myself. Might we discuss this later? There's something I must do first. What? Why does everyone insist on being so secretive? I at least had good reason for not wanting to explain my Nixie ritual. Shall we proceed with our other preparations then? As we saw, the warding scale can be effective against protecting the bearer from other sources of etheric corruption. Nevertheless, the talisman's durability will need to be improved if it is to withstand the void's influence for a prolonged length of time. I think that is a problem we can address without involving the brilliant but busy alchemist who created it. Who do we know who excels at this kind of structural augmentation? Sid? The Allegans! I'm not sure. An excellent suggestion. I mean, how many ether things did we build with Sid's and Garland Ironworks? 3? 4? As I recall, Sid himself is no stranger to the void and its volatile energies. With his experienced hand at the helm, I have every confidence that the Ironworks can strengthen the warding scale. Come! Sorry. Come, let us visit their operations in Rogger's Reach and commission their best and brightest. So, Sid. We're literally going there and are talking to Sid. Oh, we're getting teleported there directly. That is... Thank you. You're saving me one loading screen and one Etherite ticket. Junior Ironworks Engineer. You are not our best and brightest. Perhaps this young man can locate Sid for us? Probably. Laverne, what brings you to the Ironworks? We have a commission for you and your president, actually, assuming he's available. Master Sid? Certainly, I'll see if he has a moment free. Just mention my name and a potential project, and I'm pretty sure he will have loads of free time all of a sudden. Bye. A pleasure as always. I hear you have a job for us. For you specifically, actually. Well, you and Nero, maybe. Heading into the void to find a lost dragon. That sounds almost pedestrian compared to your last adventure. Honestly, I don't know if you could say anything that would surprise me after Meteon and that bloody mess. Touché. Alright, let's take a look at the telemons of yours. You said there were signs of degradation? Why do we have that all of a sudden? Should I have it? It seems some manner of corrosion has set in around a scratch on its surface, much as the void's corruption seeped into Nero through his wounds, in which case our best bet may be to simply prevent the scale from being damaged in the first place. I mean, duh. And how might we achieve that? We have a coating agent for strengthening trinkets and the like, but I'd be wary of applying any compound which might upset the scale's delicate alchemical balance. Far safer to dress it in armor. What? We'll construct a protective casing, one utilizing metal alloys with high ethereal conductivity, so as not to impede the talisman's primary function. A suit of armor, as you said. Nero has compiled data on the 13th, so I'll have him pitch in with the design, just to be sure. If only it weren't such an ordeal to convince him to follow our safety protocols, I swear I've never had such a reckless employee. In any case, we may need some time to untangle the particulars. Understandable. We know how busy your schedule is, and the final result will doubtless be worth the wait. Ha! Our part will be ducking Jessie and her constant barrage of demands while we sneak about doing the fun stuff. We'll see what we can do. I think we can leave the rest in Sid's capable hands. Let's return to the great work and see how Nadana is getting on with the mock Atomos. Did not save me from a teleport here, that's fine. Okay. Varshan. Yashtola. No Estinian yet, but I'm sure he will return soon. The insatiable curiosity of our alchemists has ever amazed me, though I've largely left them to their own devices since we opened the gate together. I hope Nadana has good news for us. I don't see an Atomos just yet, but we'll see.
Ah, Estola! The adjustments are going well, I hope?
Yeah, we're working on it.
'Tis a lengthy process, but the end is in sight, yes.
That's wonderful news. I myself had some good fortune searching through the Satrap's private records. What I found was a transaction log dated around the same period as when Al-Zadal's legacy was built. It included a purchase list of highly exclusive alchemical components. And I knew I'd discovered the key to making the artificial Atomos. I then visited the High Crucible to commission the materials. After I'd explained my requirements, I was beset by volunteers insisting I allow them to help with the entire project.
Of course. Of course.
The usual reaction to someone forcing open a void gate is to run for the hills. Harnish academics certainly are a different breed.
The alchemists of old were cut from a similar cloth. The unknown held no fear for them. Indeed, they were ever eager to seek new knowledge, regardless of the danger.
And were you not also fearless, heedless even, in your determination?
Once upon a time, he was, yes.
My sire entered his dormancy before I was hatched. And so it was Ashdaya who kept my eggs safe and warm. It It created a bond between us. Even long after I learned to fend for myself, I rarely strayed from her side. She was my guardian, my sister, my dear companion. And not a single day passes that I do not mourn her absence. No matter how deep the darkness, I would not surrender my search. I promised myself the time would come when we would once more take to the skies together. But I am satrap now.
I mean, yes, you are, but, you know.
The Radiant Host is here to serve, Your Excellency.
It's not like you're alone.
Nabdeen, what is this about?
Slapping your little silly
Sir
little face.
Estinian told us of your predicament. For centuries you have protected Rads at Han, never showing your true self, hiding behind a curtain and living only in service to the people. Your dedication meant more to us than your deceit, and so did we accept you as our rightful ruler. After all that you have sacrificed for this nation, did you imagine we would begrudge you your heart's desire? We survived the final days. We are a strong and proud people. We, the Radiant Host, will keep Thavnair safe in your absence.
I am grateful for your loyalty and for your encouragement. And yet,
Now you listen to me, Varshan.
Shut up, little boy. Oh.
You are wearing that face, after all. As I have told you before, you are a little brother to us all. And if you are family, then so too is your sister. We are there for you if you need us. But do not ask us to sit by and watch while you abandon a sibling you have ached to rescue for millennia.
We will succeed in opening the way. It is only a matter of time. All you need do is prepare to step through to the other side.
Your Excellency, I wanted to thank you for building the orphanage. It means so much that my sister and I will have a place to be together, safe and happy. And I hope that you and your sister can be together again too.
Will you wallow in uncertainty forever? No, 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 no. To protect them well, you must take heart.
take heart and protect them well.
Exactly.
Such were the words I once said to you. And here I stand, failing to live up to them. If my heart is torn, I am fit to protect neither Ajdaya nor Radzatan.
So take heart.
My people, I have come to a decision. Vashan will depart Thavnair for a time. My dragon self will remain in the palace, but only to conduct the satrap's most essential duties. While I am focused on controlling this vessel, there may be matters that escape my attention. I rely on you, my trusted friends, to watch over one another until I return.
Take care, and fair fortune, little brother. Many tears would be shed should you come to harm.
I would not dare make you cry.
You wouldn't. Yoshi P and the dev team certainly will. They made us cry so much in 6.0. You didn't, Varshan or Vitra. Not yet, at least. What? Someone needed to give that boy a good talking to. Oh, I completely agree, don't worry. You don't suppose I'll be reprimanded, do you? I did just yell at the satrap. Yeah, and a dragon of the first brute as well, who's roughly like 10 to 12,000 years old or something like that. Convincing others to follow their hearts is not my forte. I would have gladly let our more philosophical comrades take the lead, had they been here. I will not squander this chance you have given me. I will find Astasha. We'll have that Atomos built before you know it. When a project like this comes along, we'll give it our full and undivided attention. Sleep? Pah! Who needs it? Oh, that reminds me, I really should finish that other project I was working on for His Excellency. Oh, interesting. So, let's continue this after a little bit of a break from my side. That we've already listened to. That we've also listened to. What was the interesting bit, actually? Yes, just double checking I didn't miss anything. I will not squander this chance you have given me. I will find Astasia. Okay, don't think we have had that yet. You surprised me, Estinian. For a lone wolf, you've shown an unusual degree of, shall we say, involvement in helping Vitra reach this conclusion. It was for the greater good. The worm's thundering sighs were keeping his citizens awake at night, and had travelers believing this place wrecked by some unnatural storm. What of your own answer, then? You seem disinclined to venture into the void. When I was one with Nitark, his vengeful thoughts were mine. His endless rage was my rage, and the soul-chilling grief he nursed for Ratatoska's death. I don't wish such agony upon a foe, let alone a friend and ally. If there's a chance we can spare Vitra that pain, then I will follow you. An unusual crew we have here. Any other quote-unquote former signs we should call on? Just the four of us then? With things as they are, I'd rather not bother our comrades with aught less than a dire threat to the star. It will make for an interesting journey besides. Traveling in a smaller party for a change. Crowds can be a bit draining, don't you think? Now, on to specifics. Unlike the first, where the flood of light was halted before its devastation was complete, the 13th has been utterly subsumed by darkness. My plan as such is to explore the void in stages, withdrawing to safety after each brief foray. It would be more convenient had we some manner of base camp nearer to the gate itself. One of the palace chambers should serve. Come, let us reconvene outside Megaduta. I mean, we have the entire horde of Ashadal's legacy where we could go, in my opinion. Sure. Like, that's an entire palace right there. Doesn't have an ether, right? That's the issue. But apart from that, God. Conducting our expeditions out of the Rising Stones would raise just as many questions as recruiting too many scions. But at least here in Razad-Han, we might be expected to appear road-weary from our local explorations. That's true. I was put up in a guest room in the palace while I waited my audience with Vitra. I expect we'll be giving the use of something familiar. And so we will require suitable accommodations. Might we make something available for our guests? Other chambers are presently hosting the great mounds of treasure we carried out of the vault. Once the Foundation's activities begin in earnest, however, we can redistribute the trove and make a room or two ready for habitation. Good. Please inform me when you've completed the arrangements. As you heard, we will have you settled in Magaduta in due time. As ever, you are most gracious, Your Excellency. You risk yourselves to aid me in my search for Azaja. Providing comfortable quarters is the least I can do. I only wish we knew more about our destination. The gods only know how long our explorations might possibly take, or what our chances of success might possibly be. Succeed or fail, I'm grateful to you for convincing me to make the attempt. On that note, I'll return to the great work and lend what help I can to Nidana. If you have preparation to make your venture into the 13th, now is the time. All I need is my armor and my lance. Perhaps I'll train with the Radiant Host to pass the time before we depart. You know what this means to me, Laverne, but my purpose need not consume you as well. We are headed to another world. Find what joy you can in the experience, for you are a traveler, an adventurer at heart. This I know. That we are. I take the one I have the least of, I guess. Even though it doesn't matter. Cutscene? Cutscene. Meanwhile, on the 13th.
To this world, bereft of saviors.
Let paths unwalked, adventures spur, pulses quicken, spirits stir. Newfound adventure. There we are. Our journey into the void promises to be neither short nor simple, yet I will persevere. I have kept my sister waiting for far too long.